Marketing is like the eyes, ears, and mouth of the brand and the consumer.
You can't deliver a poor experience and plan growth.
We are in the business of delivering emotions.
So how do you really balance the softer side of what the brand touches upon, the digital side of it?
What AI has really done is put that journey on steroids.
And imagine if somebody's found the right product and then there is a payment failure that happens.
In Indian context, it is as big as it gets.
It is all pervasive, whether it is discovery to product recommendation, personalization, or it is about, customer service.
I think AI is now kind of really putting its teeth in the entire cycle.
Hello everyone, welcome to Fintech Pulse, Comviva's Fintech podcast. My name is Bindesh, I am Group VP at Comviva handling the Fintech business. Joining me today for this special podcast are two great marketeers, people who have done exceptionally well in their marketing careers. My guest number one, Avi Kumar from Ferns Petals, Chief Marketing Officer. Welcome, Avi.
Thank you so much.
My next guest is Suryadeep Verma, Chief Marketing Officer, Comviva. Welcome, Suryadeep.
Wonderful, and look forward for the conversation.
Great. So, Surya and Avi, I was looking up your LinkedIn profiles, and I think we'll start with a question which a lot of young professionals, I'm sure, would be interested in having an answer from you. Engineers from reputed institutes go on to do MBA. At what stage you decided, obviously post MBA we have so many options, right, to pursue as a function. At what point you said, I want to do marketing?
I think in my case, it was more like a discovery as I went through. I did mechanical engineering, I think way back in 98. Honestly, I wasn't sure why I was doing mechanical engineering. I just landed up doing mechanical engineering, and I felt I did work for about few years, but then I wanted to do something beyond that. Yeah. I just realized that I probably need something which is more engaging, more strategic, and that's where I started doing my MBA. In MBA, sales and marketing was something I was more naturally aligned with, and I started actually with sales. Did sales for say 3 years, then started working for a startup, and that's when my brush with marketing happened, and that's something it resonated very well in terms of the kind of strategic depth it offered and the larger narrative that you can build for your company. And I think thereafter is when my marketing journey started, more in terms of trying few things at this early stage of your career, and then probably landing up and settling down with marketing.
So, I always feel engineering is very high on logic, analytics, reasoning. And that was one of the reasons for me to get into engineering. Of course, you take science and maths in your school, and then it is your natural progression in some way to get into engineering as well. But my primary reason was that I thought that it is very high on analytics and reasoning. And from there on, while I was in my engineering itself, there were so many, committees that I was a part of, and did a lot of organizing of events, etc., where we marketed. And that is where I really found that I want to be in this space. Also, if you look at marketing, it is really while the entire business has to be consumer centric, but marketing is really at the core of the consumer. I say that marketing is like the eyes, ears, and mouth of the brand and the consumer. How we are the ones who listen to the consumers, and then we are the ones who are able to speak to the consumer and take the voice of the brand, to many customers and probable customers. And that I thought is a very exciting space to be, and hence, marketing. I've enjoyed my journey so far, and thus continued.
So I guess, Surya, in your case, it was a bit of serendipity, and yours seems more by design. So I guess great there. Maybe I'll just build on to this. So both of you obviously have done wonderfully well in terms of marketing, leading your respective organizations. So marketing as a function obviously is common, but Avi, you have done a lot of what we call as B2C, brands which are more visible. You've done media, you obviously have done e-commerce and all. Brands which we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Surya, I think in your case, it has been largely technology, IT products, IT services, so which is more what we call as a B2B. So to those of us who obviously look at marketing function from outside, naturally it seems very different, right? B2C, B2B, very different styles, very different activities. But fundamentally, and again, that is where I want to pick your brains. Are there any commonalities in terms of fundamentals of marketing, whether it is B2B or B2C? Your thoughts around that, I guess.
I believe the fundamentals always remain the same, and fundamentals of marketing, fundamentals of business, or of life in general, there are those basics that we work on. And as a marketer, whether it's B2B or it is B2C, if we are able to make a difference in the life of the consumer, of the customer in a positive manner, if we are able to make their life easier and help the brand communicate to the customer that how are we able to make their life easier, we are able to solve for a problem, and it is a win-win for both. Whether it's B2B, where you're helping clients, or whether it is B2C, where you're helping direct consumers to make their life simpler, to enrich their life in some ways, the communication and the strategy in terms of the fundamental remains the same. Having said that, the mode of communication, the way we approach the entire marketing channels, etc., they would change basis who your customer is and how large your audience is.
There's a value that you offer to your customers, and how you communicate that business value to your end customers, which probably is the brand promise. So how do you connect the business value with the brand promise is where the marketing lies. Fundamentally, as even Avi pointed out, that's the job of the function. The mix may change depending upon B2B, B2C, industry. My take is that actually marketing changes quite a bit as you move around industries, as you move around businesses. But ultimately, that's how the functions need to see themselves. And that's where the whole mix of communication and levers and channels come into play. And how brilliantly you do it in terms of content differentiation, in terms of making your customers believe that promise, right? And it has to be an authentic message. I think that's where the whole core of, these are the basic principles of marketing if you look at a certain level.
What's started to happen is that marketing has now in a lot of ways evolved into more of with the advent of digital and a lot of last mile measurement that you can do, it has converted into more of a revenue and a business role also. Because it's not just one-way communication that you're doing or reaching out to the consumer and the customer with the communication, but also the response on that communication, that you're not just measuring, but measuring to the T in terms of conversion, in terms of leads, in terms of revenue, and so on and so forth. And you're not just responsible for the spends in some way, but also for the revenue that's coming in from the spend. That kind of has evolved now over the last decade.
The way the function is now evolving is being the custodian of growth and the custodian of experience, right? And I think with the advent of digital, what is also happening is that these two aspects are very well and tightly linked. You can't deliver a poor experience and plan growth. So I think that's where marketing is taking charge, and I mean taking that whole mantle within the organization.
I think interesting point which you mentioned, both of you, communication at the heart of it, right? Communicating your brand promise and obviously reaching out to then your consumers with that, naturally then delivering it and the revenue part of it. Now, when we talk of communication in general, it is about reaching out, right? We are in middle of IPL season. I think in Indian context, it is as big as it gets when it comes to the number of people you could communicate to. But is it really worth the hype?
So the answer is yes and no. It's not an easy one. Of course, if you've got $1 million to spend, it seems like a good bet because it's almost like a Super Bowl, right? Where you've got audience attention, you've got audience which is coming as an appointment viewing audience and so on. However, I think it's also dependent on the context and where your brand is at that point of time. Also, it's not just about communication anymore, it is also about engagement. While you can communicate, but are you able to engage the audience during this season? Are you able to also drive the action that we were talking about from a consumer's point of view? And thus say, for a brand like ours, this is not really, April is not a season time. And hence, we are very conservative in terms of our spends, etc. For us, the season time is when the celebrations and festivals are big in India, which is the Rakhi and Diwali and Holi and Valentine's Day. And that is when our media monies are also, are on the higher side. So it needs to be seen with respect to the context of the brand and how you're able to engage the consumer also with the brand during that season. While it's a good medium to get that reach and impact in one go, whether it will have that impact on the brand or not, it depends on the context.
So IPL is a wonderful platform, no doubt. I think the $1 million question is that what is the relevance of that platform with your business and your brand? Are the values aligned? And how exactly you want to leverage that? I think when Avi said the timing is important, the engagement is important. So I think there's a whole bunch of factors that you need to kind of keep in perspective when you are planning to get onto a platform like a IPL and kind of work out your objectives around that.
Oh, fair enough. Now coming to FNP, again it's a brand most of us use on a day-to-day basis, very familiar with. It's also a brand, which touches a very soft aspect of our lives, the emotions in general. But it is a digital sort of brand by and large, right? So how do you really balance the softer side of what the brand touches upon, the digital side of it, and then blend into a holistic customer experience? How has been the journey in general for FNP in this regard?
That's a very interesting question. And we are in the business of delivering emotions. And it's not easy to deliver emotions. You need to get the emotion right, you need to get the product right, and you need to ensure that the experience is good both from the point of view of the sender as well as the receiver. So it's not, the customer is not the consumer. The customer is actually sending the gift to somebody and the consumer is somebody else. So there is an entire journey which is involved in all of this, and we need to ensure how this journey can be as seamless, as delightful as possible. So how can we look at the entire journey from discovery, which is, the first cold start problem. You want to send a gift to your loved one, but you don't know what to send. The first question is, what is the right gift for this occasion or for this person? So we help you to find that right gift for the right occasion in the most easiest, least clicks possible manner. Once you've done that, how is it that you can complete your order journey with minimum clicks, with minimum friction? How is it that from adding to cart to payment to checkout and order confirmation, it's as early and as with least friction as possible? Post the order also, the job then actually gets started because you've received the order, but you need to deliver the order in time. You need to deliver the order to the consumer in the right place and actually as it is, as the person would have expected it to be. And here we are dealing with a lot of perishables. We are dealing with flowers. There is 45 degrees centigrade temperature outside, and thus we have to move these flowers in refrigerated vans, in cold storages to ensure that the flower reaches fresh to the consumer. So there is this entire consumer journey that needs to be mapped, and we need to ensure that how is it that we can use technology to enable this entire experience for the consumer.
No, I think fair point. So there is obviously the supply chain side of it, the marketing side of it. I think you mentioned about payments, the checkout experience and so on, which is where I think our collaboration has happened. How important is that in the larger scheme of things for FNP?
from a FNP point of view as well as from my point of view, immense importance. And why is that? Because you will resonate with this, that we spend so many dollars to get the traffic, to get the consumer interest. Once you build the awareness and the desire in the consumer, the action is to come onto the platform and buy the product. And imagine if somebody's found the right product and then there is a payment failure that happens. It's a put off. Your brand reputation is at stake. And also, today the consumer is point for choices. If my payment fails here, I will quickly maybe shift to a competition, or I will decide maybe not right now, later on. So that is really the moment of truth for a brand. And it is very, very important that this is a successful transaction. It not only brings revenue is one part of it. Of course, you generate revenue when the payment is successful, but it goes much more beyond that.
And at what point, obviously, again, taking this forward, because our collaboration happened in this area, at what point you guys felt that, hey, we need to address this. This is a challenge for us, payments failing, etc. What was that moment? What triggered?
So we are a brand that is built on consumer insights. We are a brand which has been there in business for the last 3 decades. We started from a small shop in 1994, and in 2025 we are across the country, and in multiple other countries we delivered gifts to more than 150 countries across the globe. So we have a lot of data with us, and with data there are a lot of insights that you can get. So whether it is what product to launch or what new country to launch, or where is it that we need to reduce the friction, it is all based on data. So we realized that there is a certain funnel that is there, and within the funnel there are certain drop-off points that are happening, where we see that the conversion rate is being impacted. So we identified all of those points, and one of those points was from the product description page to the checkout journey, and of which payment was one of the parts. Once we've realized that, then we looked into the solution with the tech team. We gave this problem to the tech team and the product team, that how is it that we can solve for? What is it that we could do to make this more seamless, to reduce the friction which is there? And hence, the solution came in of Mobiquity One. That this can be one of the ways in which we can reduce the drop-off, improve the conversion rate, and we've been seeing that for some time now.
Absolutely, and I think the proof of the pudding, as they say, is in eating it. And I think both the teams have actually won an award for Mobiquity One, the Drivers of Digital Award for Best Payment Facilitator. So I think we are in the right direction. Surya, I'll come to you maybe. Avi mentioned about data in general, right, and how data is used by FNP. And we're also talking a lot in terms of AI and what AI can do with data. From marketeers' standpoint, how do you see basically the data and the AI and the intersection of it and the possibilities it brings?
So, I think with digital and the onset of tech, the data is pretty much exploding, more so from a marketing standpoint. So I think that journey was and has been on for the last few years, for sure. What AI has really done is put that journey on steroids, right? What it does is gives you a crazy capability to kind of now control that data and use some of the tools to also use it to your advantage. Advantage in terms of predicting the behavior, advantage in terms of personalizing experience. I mean, orchestrating this entire experience with AI. And I think that's gonna be a game changer, because I think going forward, more and more businesses will build this capability to connect one-on-one with customers. So all your channels are gonna completely get personalized, and I see that kind of whole journey get seriously expedited with AI kind of coming in, right? And different businesses would have different contexts in terms of how they're gonna be leveraging the data. But I just feel that this entire journey is something that is going to be completely kind of turn on its head in the next probably 8 to 12 months or maybe 2 years or so.
And Avi, what's your take? Again, the B2C lens, AI, data, and obviously you sit on a huge chunk of data. So what are the possibilities you see, or it scares you?
It's an opportunity. It's a big opportunity. I think people who get scared today with AI are going to get obsolete in some time, because AI is a big advantage for us as a business. And we've implemented it across organization. We're in a transformative journey. I think AI in itself is transforming every day. There is so much of improvement and so much of learning that happens on a day-on-day basis. So AI has helped us to increase the GTM speed. It's become much more faster. Systems have become much more agile. So in real time, you can not just get analytics, but also action and solutions which help the consumer in real time. And then it is all pervasive, whether it is discovery to product recommendation, personalization, or it is about customer service. Everything can happen in a much more efficient and effective way by the use of AI. And we've been working on multiple projects on that front.
And just to kind of build on what Avi said, you look at different stages of the journey and also kind of invoke tech accordingly. I think from a payment standpoint in particular, some of the things that we have started looking at from an AI standpoint is, how do you really look at routing? How do you really look at different channels for payments, and probably look at the this whole failure and this whole reliability of payment, and then route this whole thing to the appropriate payment channel. So there is one which is early stage, then you reach payment. I think AI is now kind of really putting its teeth in the entire cycle, and you will see that happening more and more. Customers are going to demand more and more, businesses are going to demand more and more as we kind of move forward.
Fair enough. I think while we would love to have this conversation going for long, I know we are pressed for time, so maybe I'll head into the rapid fire.
Okay.
Short answers, right? The latest book you are reading?
Latest book?
Yeah. Or the last book you would have read?
Yeah, I'm fond of reading, and what I usually do is I read multiple books at the same time rather than reading one in one go. So I'm right now reading The Diary of a CEO.
So,
I don't remember when I read my last book. I have started so many books, but probably I just lose patience after 3-4 days. I'm more of a person who consumes video content, and that's something I put up every year. 1st of Jan, I'm going to finish 10 books in this year, but I actually don't remember. Besides my textbooks, I really don't remember when I had finished something. I think the last one I came close to finishing was, The Subconscious Mind, which probably I attempted about 2 months back, and I tried finishing it I reached halfway.
See, he's on trend.
Yeah.
That's the reason we are doing this video podcast and not writing a white paper. People are also more and more, they want medium which engages them much more.
So he is going to be the content creator and consumer, both.
Yeah.
Next one, Hollywood or Bollywood?
Of late, Hollywood, and I don't mind Bollywood, but I see better content coming from Bollywood these days.
And Avi?
Depends on what the content is. Today, neither Hollywood nor Bollywood. Korean is big, so it totally depends on what the content piece is.
Honestly, I have started liking the South Indian films more than Bollywood. Some of them actually are much more provoking. So I think that even takes precedence over the Bollywood these days.
Interesting. If not a marketeer, then what?
That is a tough one, but maybe I would be into dramatics. I had my passion there. I also, continued it for a long time. So yeah.
I would have probably now gone for medicine,
Uh-huh.
become a doctor or something. I think, yeah.
Not
Now
a-
when I reflect, yeah, maybe medicine.
Not a chess player, Surya. You are
That's-
great at chess, right?
That's always there. But looking at how some of the players are into chess these days, I mean, that's like crazy, overwhelming. So there's too much of a talent, actually.
You follow some sport or play some.
Yeah, so I swim and then I also play squash.
Ah, interesting. No wonders you are so fit. Right. Maybe the last question of rapid fire would be, as marketeers, if there could be a dream tool, and what it could do for you, that tool would look like and do for you.
So how is it that you can, while we talk about predictive, could we, really predict 100% of the consumer behavior and then in real time solve for the need of that customer in real time and understand the conscious and the subconscious of the customer in terms of what they really loved about the consumer and the customer. If I could do that, that would be a magic wand.
Interesting.
And I think AI is kind of helping me to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole journey is, on the marketing stack is getting better but still very broken. So I think my dream tool would be right from intent to order execution, something that gives you a complete picture from a customer journey standpoint. But I don't see that happening in the near future.
Interesting. And Avi, obviously, Comviva and FNP have been partners. Your thoughts on the partnership?
So far, so good. I think, like you mentioned, we just won an award. An award is almost like a pseudo proof. The proof is really in what we see in terms of the improvement on the conversion rate, the reduction in the drop in the funnel, and so on, which we've already seen in our journey, and it's been some time since we executed this. The idea is, how is it that we can further work? How is it that you continue the collaboration? That because while one aspect of the product has been taken care of, how is it that we continue to enhance the solution with this transforming new age, AI that we have at our hands? How is it that we do this better, we do this more efficiently and in a more cost effective way?
Interesting. Right. So I think had really fun having this conversation. Maybe a parting thought you would want to share with the audience, any messages?
The magic is in data, but how you utilize the data is where the solution is. We have today a lot of data available from a lot of places. How is it that we could convert them into actionable insights and then deploy the right tools which can work at scale to solve for those action points is where I think the business can really benefit.
Interesting.
So my closing advice or remarks would be for the marketing colleagues is to look at your business model, the business value that you deliver to your customers, and work towards aligning your messaging, your actions to ensure that there is a consistency that you deliver in making that brand promise come alive. And that's where from a brand standpoint magic happens when you live up to that promise, right? So that brand value needs to get translated into delivery experience, and if that happens, that's when you actually see the efforts kind of coming alive from a marketing standpoint. I think that's something that I just wanted to close with.
Consistency and consistency is
Consistency.
the
So I think
key.
maybe continue sort of consistently create magic in our respective functions. Thank you, Avi and Suryadeep, for taking out time from your busy schedules. Really enjoyed this conversation with both of you. Thanks again for coming. Thank you all of you for listening in. I think listening in from two great marketeers and their take on customer experience, the intersection with technology was great. I do hope you enjoyed it as much as I did enjoyed this conversation with them. We are having more such conversations under our Fintech Pulse initiative. So please do keep a lookout on for more content which we will be bringing to you. Thank you so much.